Everyone thinks I'm short, and then I'm punching them in the face, and then next minute their face changes real quick when I'm in front of them. So
unrealistic expectations kill, especially when fueled by arrogance and a refusal to learn from past mistakes.
So he's going to have to worry about a lot more other things, because again, let's see how well-rounded it is, because it's going to be up on the feet, and he's going to have to deal with my footwork, my looks. This little guy will look pretty big once he starts puzzling you in there, trust me.
The first fight between Islam Makhachev and Alexander should have settled the debate, but Alexander refused to be subdued. He wasn't just fighting for a belt, he was fighting for his legacy. If fights were won with loud claims and bold predictions, Alexander might have already had his hand raised. But inside the octagon, words mean nothing, and when the cage door locks, reality hits harder than any headline. This video will discuss the bitter rivalry between Islam and Alexander. We'll break down how their first clash set the stage for a heated rematch, the unexpected twists leading up to their second fight, and how it all came to a definitive end.
A new undisputed UFC lightweight champion of the world, Islam Makhachev.
Born in the rugged mountains of Dagestan, Russia, Islam came from a background where combat sports weren't just a pastime, they were a way of life. He had his training with Khabib Nurmagomedov under the legendary Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov, with a winning skill set combining sambo, wrestling, and striking. Islam quickly rose through the ranks, earning a reputation as a suffocating grappler. His ground control, defensive techniques, and sheer raw power made him a nightmare for opponents. For years, he was dismissed as Khabib's shadow, but that changed when he captured the UFC lightweight title, proving he was more than just a successor. He was a champion in his own right.
He's for real. That grappling is serious.
There is fighters, there is champion, there is elite. Islam is elite.
Heading into his fight against Alexander at UFC 284, Islam held an impressive record of 23 wins and just one loss. With dominant performances and an ironclad defense, he was determined to prove himself one more time.
I think if Serena Williams was watching, if LeBron James was watching, if Tom Brady was watching, I believe that they would look at Volkanovski and say, my goodness, this is the most fit endurance athlete in sport today. I really believe it.
Alexander's journey to the top wasn't an easy one as well. A former rugby player turned MMA fighter, Alexander carried the strength and work ethic of an elite athlete into the octagon. What he lacked in size, he made up for with sheer determination, fight IQ, and an unbreakable spirit. He stormed through the UFC's featherweight division, defeating legends like Jose Aldo and Max Holloway. His striking precision, relentless pace, and ability to adapt mid-fight made him one of the most dangerous champions in UFC history. By the time he stepped up to challenge Islam for the lightweight belt at UFC 284, Alexander was riding a dominant win streak and held an impressive record of 25 wins and 1 loss. He was probably too confident. Moving up in weight to face a bigger and stronger grappler was no easy task, but he had the courage to challenge and an even bigger mouth to support himself. He was determined to shake up the lightweight division, and so, the stage was set for one of the most anticipated super fights in UFC history.
Full. You're going to be full. Don't eat too much. Don't eat too much.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Good luck Sunday.
First fight set the stage of rivalry. On February 11, 2023, at RAC Arena in Perth, Australia, Alexander moved up a weight class to fight for the UFC lightweight title from Islam. He was on home ground with clear support from the spectators, oozing with confidence. The fight was a close match, Islam controlled the early rounds with his wrestling, securing takedowns and imposing his will on the ground. But Alexander refused to be broken. He refused to be taken lightly due to his less reach or height, responded well to some takedown attempts, and even landed heavy shots that had the champion on edge. It was a good long fight, comprising 5 rounds where Islam had a clear upper hand. Islam was able to take Alexander down 4 out of 9 takedowns. Though Alexander had more significant strikes compared to the Islam, Alexander was brave enough to push Islam further than expected. He had shown great resilience and stamina. The judges declared Islam a winner via a unanimous decision. The win was clear, but the ending left both fighters unsatisfied. While the fight had unexpected results for Alexander, so it did for Islam, who wanted to finish him but couldn't. Beside the fight, the verbal abuse from Alexander in the fight, and after that, fueled Islam's fury even more. And, towards the second fight, all he wanted to finish him completely. The rivalry was far from over.
We're probably going to do the rematch anyway. So that's what, that makes it easy for me. It just adds to the story. We move on. Like you gotta move forward, right?
Alexander wasn't satisfied with the results, and he made sure the world knew it. He claimed he had done enough to win. He dismissed Islam's victory, claiming the Dagestani champion was nothing special, and that he had exposed his weaknesses. Alexander repeatedly provoked Islam in interviews, saying that he lacked power, asking for a rematch. He painted himself as the real winner, fueling fan debates and setting the stage for an inevitable rematch. The mind games didn't stop there. He mocked Islam's fighting approach, calling it a survival tactic rather than a true victory. He even went as far as questioning whether Islam truly deserved to be the pound-for-pound king. And trash talk did its job. It kept the rivalry alive, intensified fan interest, and made one thing crystal clear. This war wasn't over, but the opportunity for a rematch came through chaos and last-minute decisions. Islam was originally scheduled to defend his lightweight title against Charles Oliveira at UFC 294. The Brazilian couldn't fight due to an unexpected injury just days before the event. With the clock ticking and the UFC looking for a replacement, one name stepped forward without hesitation: Alexander Volkanovski.
Breaking news, the lightweight challenger to Islam Makhachev's throne, Charles Oliveira, is out of UFC 294, the fight that was scheduled for Abu Dhabi. But good news is, Oliveira out, Alexander Volkanovski in.
One phone call, he jumps in and he accepts the fight.
Alexander saw this as his golden opportunity. He was already in shape, always training, and more importantly, he was still obsessed with proving that he was better than Islam. He didn't care about the short notice. He didn't care about the risks. He wanted revenge, and he wanted it now. Islam, on the other hand, had no choice but to accept. He had trained for Oliveira's style, but to him, a fight was a fight, and as the reigning champion, he was ready to defend his belt against anyone.
After the last fight, we have many questions, but I will give all answers in Abu Dhabi.
Though the trash talk never ended, in the press conference, Islam blamed Alex for only the paycheck, while Alex was adamant he wanted revenge. But was revenge that easy? This time, Islam had the advantage of crowd support. Islam faced Alexander for the second time on October 21, 2023, at UFC 294 in Abu Dhabi. Islam wasted no time in silencing the doubters. With a perfectly placed head kick in the first round, he dropped Alexander and went for a ground and pound. The referee had no choice but to step in. It was over. Within a few minutes, Islam had finished Alexander. He was left stunned. His confidence, his trash talk, his claims, all crumbled in mere minutes. Alexander admitted the truth after the fight. He had taken the fight on short notice, and maybe it wasn't the best decision. Islam walked away with something far more important than belt. That was respect. This time, he finished the matter all for once. No judges were required. The crowd could see who ruled the octagon loud and clear. The lightweight champion had silenced the noise, cementing his place at the top of the division. Some rivalries live on forever, but others reach a clear and definitive end. This one definitely had its end with Islam's high kick knockout. What do you think about how this matter settled? Do you think Alexander was too hasty in accepting the fight on short notice? And could the results be different had he trained for the fight properly? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. If you like the video, hit share, like and subscribe for more fight rivalries and their unexpected turnouts from the fighting ring.